Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Alice. Today, this video, we're going to be talking about Mars. What's Mars doing? So as I'm doing this video, it's August 18th and Mars is waxing or approaching a quincunx to the North Node in Aries. And remember, the North Node in Aries is ruled by Mars. So it's very important when Mars makes aspects to the North Node, right? And Mars is also waxing this opposition to Neptune in Pisces. And Neptune is retrograde. And there's a lot of interesting aspects I want to bring into this video to inform you so that as these things come up in your life and reflect in your life, you can utilize them to take action in the way in which is going to be in best service to you and your own evolutionary momentum. So Mars is, as I said, making this quincunx to the North Node in Aries, and it's making a quincunx from Virgo. And if you don't already know, Aries is the first sign of the wheel of consciousness or zodiac, and that means that Virgo is the sixth sign, which means it's 150 degrees from Aries. This means that Mars in Virgo is 150 degrees from the North Node. And this 150 degree aspect, quincunx, is actually an aspect of self-improvement. It reflects Virgo archetype, their Virgo archetype, which is the quincunx and this self-improvement or this refinement process and areas of adjustment that we can make so that we actually get the reflection that we're really going for, and in whatever initiations in your life. This could be anything. Aries is about initiating new things, and it could be anything. And so when we initiate new things, it's really so that we can receive back the reflection that we're really looking for in the outer world. And Libra is where we've actually projected our consciousness from Aries, and then we receive back in the outer world through relationships to anything. It doesn't have to be people, it can just be anything in the outer world, Libra, that gives us the opportunity to self-reflect on how have we been acting on behalf of our own needs and our own desires, and are we getting the reflection back that's an exact mirror of that which we desire to be, become, embody, and relate to in the world, right? So Mars in this quincunx to the North Node it's in Virgo. So this can be bringing up this Virgoan aspect of our own consciousness where we can look at, are we really acting on behalf of our own personal perceptions, our own personal beliefs, and our own in service to our own evolutionary momentum, as well as be of service to the world that we wish to be of service to, right? And so Mars and this quincunx to the North Node can be, am I really instinctually acting on behalf of who I desire to be, and the quality of consciousness that I desire to not only be, become, embody? Am I trusting myself? Because Taurus, the first earth sign, is about self-trust, cultivating self-trust, self-love. And so by the time we get to Virgo, we can really be tested around how much we're trusting ourselves. Now remember that Virgo opposes Pisces, and so Pisces is the culmination of the entire wheel of consciousness, and it also is associated with the collective. And so we can actually notice that we may, if we are osmosing beliefs from the collective that are really not in service to our own evolutionary path and evolutionary momentum, who we are, and the quality of light that we're designed to cultivate in the world. If we're taking on beliefs that don't serve that, then we're actually going to likely have some confusion around our own process of evolution. And so remember that Pisces and Virgo is about process, and that with Mars and Virgo, this is about taking action. And you know, if we're taking on beliefs that are not ours or not really resonant with us personally and the way that we're designed to bring light in the world, then we might find that we get confused. We get confused, and we get also this reflection in the outside world of this denial of our own personal process. And so this is where we can actually be projected upon, and where we can cultivate the self-doubt in Virgo, and we can actually think that we need to prepare more before we act. We think we need to be perfect in some way. But with Mars and Virgo, the beauty of this can be that it's really about just taking action, because we actually refine ourselves through taking action. We refine through the process of taking action. I have 3 planets in Virgo, and I'll tell you what, I've learned that often I think that I need to over-prepare in order to actually share what it is I have to share. And this holds me back from being the embodiment of that which I desire to become and to be in the world, and to bringing of service to the world, right? And so I've had to learn that it is the language of the earth plane is action. We must take action, and through the action, we actually refine what we're doing. And so this is really an important adjustment to be made within our own Virgoan consciousness, that it is through taking action. It's not about being perfect, but recognizing that we actually perfect as we take action. We actually refine things as we take action. We don't wait till we're perfect and then we express. We actually just express, and then we continue to refine through the expression. And so this is the archetype of adjustment, where we need to learn discernment versus judgment. Remembering that discernment is about recognizing that we can hold our own beliefs, and that those beliefs, perceptions, ideas may be different than others, yet it doesn't invalidate other people's ideas, thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, but we have our own thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, and theirs that are different than us don't invalidate ours, and that we're all in a learning process. We're all in a self-discovery process. We're all cultivating the quality of light that we're designed to bring in the world, and that the process is actually through action. It isn't through waiting to be perfect, right? Judgment can actually be invalidating others' process and invalidating our own process, so we judge ourselves. And as we've been experiencing the Piscean sub-age, the Piscean age being the Virgo sub-age, we can have learned to judge ourselves, and we could have osmosed from the collective, Neptune and Pisces, this idea of judgment rather than discernment, right? Meaning that, you know, others are going to hold different beliefs than us, and we're going to hold different beliefs than others. But the importance of really standing in the quality of consciousness that we personally are designed to bring, and that we are, is actually necessary in order to really be completely self-responsible, be our own authority, and really owning that our own light, really owning our own light, owning our own process, owning our own refinement process. And that when we do that, then as we move into Libra, we actually get the reflections that are really in alignment with our desire, and that are not judgmental but more supportive of our personal, not only personal brilliance, our own identity, and what we bring into the world, right? And we'll just naturally attract right relationships to us, because we are owning our own authority. We are actually owning our own belief system without invalidating others' belief systems, but owning ours, and also being willing to really act on our own behalf and refine our process as we go, as we take action, as we actually share our own personal light. So, interestingly, Venus is retrograde. You probably know this. And it's actually, well, it's about at 17 degrees right now as I'm making the video. And Jupiter in Taurus is at 15 degrees. So it's actually through retrograde motion waxing into an exact square, first quarter square to Jupiter in Taurus. So this is really going to be, are you valuing yourself? Are your beliefs really resonant with valuing your own unique design, who you are, and what you love, and how you are the embodiment of whatever it is that you love, and your natural core essence? And so this is really helpful for us so that we can look at our belief systems, because remember, how we take action really shows what we really believe, what we're unconsciously believing. Now, remember, this brings me to Pluto, because Mars always acts on behalf of Pluto, which is our kind of default settings. And we can call this the unconscious mind, but it's the default settings, right? How we've acted time and time again, what beliefs we've acted on time and time again, which has become this automatic pilot. And so very soon, as Mars actually opposes Neptune, which is on the day that the sun moves into Virgo, we have, well, actually, I should say, okay, the sun is going to move into Virgo, right? But right before that, it makes a quincunx with Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, and then Neptune retrograde in Pisces. And if you've been following me, you know I've been talking a lot about the quincunxes between these personal planets, which is actually forming a yod, because Pluto retrograde in Capricorn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces has been sextile. And a yod formation is where you have two planets that are sextile, and then you have an apex planet, which is quincunx both of those sextile planets, right? So we've had all the personal planets. We had Mars, we had Mercury, Venus, and actually Venus went retrograde at the apex of that yod, with Pluto retrograde in Capricorn and Neptune retrograde in Pisces, which is very significant. And then right before the sun moves into Virgo, the sun is going to quincunx those two sextile planets, making another yod, right? And remember, the yod is actually, because it involves the quincunx, it's about self-improvement. It's about what adjustments need to be made in order to integrate all three planets into a really more smooth integration of these planetary functions within our own consciousness. So the sun makes that apex of the yod, and then it moves into Virgo, and then Mars opposes Neptune. So the way that I interpret this is that this is really about looking at where it is that we might find ourselves uh, noticing how we're instinctually acting on behalf of what it is that we desire to cultivate, what it is that we desire to become, and what we desire to embody. And then, how we can actually notice that we may have osmosed these belief systems that do not support what it is we desire to become. It doesn't support us taking action, where we might actually find that we've taken on other people's belief systems that actually produce self-doubt in our own process, that produces trusting something else, someone else, rather than ourselves first. And so we might find that we get actually we halt our process. We actually stop our momentum, Mars, and we trip ourselves up because we're actually really comparing ourselves to some idea of an ideal that isn't actually really resonant with who we are and our own process of becoming and our own natural inherent light that we're meant to bring in the world. So this is important. And just want to think about if there's anything else I want to say about this. It's very, very helpful to be working with this and noticing how we're acting on behalf of our own needs. And are we acting on behalf of our own needs and impulses? Remembering that when we act on our impulse, our natural instinct in the moment, what we desire in the moment, that can actually, we may not know how that's going to serve us, but it actually is serving the bigger process. And even if we think that we've made a quote unquote mistake, even the mistake can be utilized to our highest benefit in the refinement process of that which we are becoming. So I hope this is helpful. If it is, please let me know. Like the video. You're certainly welcome to share the video. And if you'd like to follow my ongoing videos, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.